Parks laborer and the clerical position in the treasurer collector's office.
That's the two positions. I would like to see those two reinstated, and the 25,000 we took out of recreation. Pardon me? I can't hear you. Yeah, that wasn't at 25,000.
No,
No,
we adjusted.
that was before.
Oh,
We
okay.
adjusted 45, which we moved to revolving fund. 25 we took out of the budget in general, and then we took a DPW position, which is really
Okay.
I mean, rec got hit hard, but no question about it.
Well, I'd like to see 25 go back into rec, and the two positions in town hall, myself.
Anyone else have anything to offer?
And just a question. So what you're proposing, Mr. Chairman, is if is no override, therefore, if nothing's restored, funding up to priority 2 on the schools, and then basically then we're leaving $834,000 no choice by the voters to restore.
If we don't.
What I did is I took the million.
Yes, right,
211,
yeah.
681, and took 377, 810 from that, and it's 833, 871, so $834,000.
Correct.
Which is actually what the override, what's the residual left for the override to fund priority 3 and offer the trash, recreation, restoration, and I'm just saying.
1.2 is the same. If you went for an override, the 1.2 would be the same. The $300,000 we're talking about here, that's on top and funds priority 2.
No.
So still, you're adding up the same.
No, Phil. Phil, the 1.211,681 includes
Did not take the 377.
phase 2 and 3 of the school budget. You have to
Phase 2 and 3.
subtract that out.
I know, those are the cuts, phase 2 and 3. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
So-
when we left off
I agree.
last
Go ahead.
week-
I agree.
This is like a sequel. When we left off last week, we were at $1.2 million that funded the priority 2 and priority 3, in addition to those priorities that we established as a board that should be on the override.
Correct.
So it was $1,211,000 and some change. We now have $378,000, so it comes down to $834,000, which would then give people the choice to fund priority 3, fund the trash that we took out, fund recreation appropriately, restore the DPW position and the treasurer collector's position, and then some small cap stuff, I guess, that we threw back in there.
That's correct.
And what you're suggesting is not providing anybody with that option. In other words, bite the bullet, stand pat, and not provide any options for the public to vote on those issues. Right?
That's what I have proposed, yes.
Okay. I think some of the issues that, and again, you spoke with, I guess, the chairman of the school committee and the superintendent, as far as priority 3, which is the restoration of libraries, computer lab, physical ed, class size issues, 5 full-time equivalents. Interesting that they're willing to forego the option of getting that funding. I guess I don't understand the rationale for that, since they made some compelling arguments as to why we've fallen so far behind. And in addition to that, what's being suggested and what we've pretty much taken a position on in all these other positions on a majority basis is to cut these positions in town hall and alter the way that we do business a little bit here in general government. And in particularly hitting recreation extremely hard, not providing the general public an option to restore that if they prioritize it as such. Vote yes. I mean, they can vote yes or no. We can be ready to go July 1st with whatever the results are. But if they don't understand the harm in allowing the general public the option to vote for those prioritizations if they so choose. Why would you deny them that opportunity? Other than for political reasons. I mean, you don't think it's going to win. I mean, if it doesn't win, it doesn't win. but at
Oh, with
least.
the question,
I
I
think
got an answer
I
to
think
that.
we've made some very difficult decisions, and I don't disagree with the decisions or the conclusions that we've come to. You know, if anything, I've been on the short end of the stick, if the chairman and I, as far as how far we were willing to cut on the general government side. But I've never been in favor necessarily of denying the public the opportunity to restore those things, should they choose to do so. So, I mean, to me, I don't mind providing the opportunity to the public to vote for them. As far as living with the status quo and what we decided, to me, I've resolved myself to that a couple of weeks ago.
So what you're proposing then is to just net out the school priority two, which is being funded from the insurance money, and adjust the override question to somewhere around 800 and something thousand dollars.
$834,000, yeah. 833, 871. You know, what I did, I just took whatever amount we were at the last time and took out the 377, 810.
Well, we'll subtract it out.
Whatever the number is, but.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you're proposing then that we fund phase two, and
Oh,
the
absolutely.
difference between what I proposed and you is that we submit an adjusted override
Yeah,
question
just
on
let the
that.
public decide whether or not they
Okay.
want it, because I don't think our priorities haven't changed a bit. We're not talking about changing those necessarily. Mr. Vino's talking about maybe taking a portion of this and reprioritizing some of it for general government, but,
That's how I feel.
right, I know,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, whatever the majority of the board decides,
Right.
whatever's the residually
Right.
left over and unfunded, we would, right where
Well,
we were
would it
last
be,
week.
I
would
don't
it be better to decide on where we stand on an override question first?
No, let's decide the other one first.
The other one, okay.
Yeah.
So, do we have a position? Yes,
What about Mike?
what? Well, yeah, you're entitled to make a comment if you wish.
What about Mike?
What?
Yeah, let Michael hasn't spoken yet on that.
I would like to see a few of the town cuts restored. I mean, I was looking at it, if we divided it out, I know how the numbers actually go, but 2/3 and 1/3. But it's too big of a number, and it wouldn't do what we wanted to do with the money. But I'm with Joe somewhat. I would like to see at least 25,000 go back to recreation. I mean, that's the first place I would put it. But other than that, I would be willing to see the rest of it go to the school, because I think it's important. But I'm also with Mr. O'Leary on the fact that our priorities really haven't changed, and I don't see the point of not putting up an override. I mean, why not give people a chance to put everything back this year? I would have no problem with that.
I really, let me make one pitch on it, okay? Because to me, okay, the question is whether you think it's gonna pass, okay? And what you think the people want, okay? You know, we're here to provide leadership, okay? And I think it does not provide leadership to offer an override to have it fail. I don't think it provides leadership to go through what we went through last year, where there's letters to the editor saying, and people pitting one side against the other. Times are bad. I do not believe that people will support, nor do they want an override. If that is the case, I think we're doing a disservice to the town of North Reading to put an override ballot and put people through that when in fact times are tough. I said when we started, there were four, and maybe, I don't know if anybody heard me, but 4 foreclosures last week. 4 people thrown out of their homes, right? Now, you know, foreclosures are like the tip of an iceberg, okay? You're looking at the 4 foreclosures, okay? There's 10 times that number who are in trouble that haven't got that far yet, okay? It's, to me, I don't think that shows good leadership for us to put this override on the ballot, all right, at this time. Now, I think that I'm very concerned about rec and some of the cuts in rec. My hope is that, you know, we'd be able to restore some of that during the year through free cash, more money we didn't expect, things like that. But right now, okay, I think the cuts we made we can live with, okay? I think what we can't live with is another divisive campaign, okay, over an override like last year with the 1-year, 3-year thing. I think the true leadership says that we eat this. That's what the people voted last year. I can't believe anybody really thinks an override's gonna pass. And if you don't think so, then why offer one? That's my feeling on it.
Joe?
Yeah, I guess if I could, I would like to respectfully totally disagree with Mr. Dadino. I think good leadership is giving the people the chance for the override. My position has always been, put it to the people and let them decide. I don't know what will happen with an override. It could have problems, I'll say that right up front, but let the people decide. We have a big problem in our treasurer's office that the general public does not know. We're 1 week behind in processing bills and money that comes in from the memo that I read. This is ridiculous to have this happening. It affects the cash flow. I'm no accountant, as my fellow members are, but I wouldn't want to be 1 week behind in my house, never mind in the town hall. I mean, this is not a way to run a business. And, and to cut an office that serves 14,000 people, I don't understand it. I just really don't understand it. As far as the question, I would be willing to put the question on, but if I could, Mr. Chair, and I know you said what they told you, I don't understand why you couldn't have got, if you asked, a straight answer. You said you believe they will withdraw their override question if they're fully funded in 3. Why won't they say yes or no?
Well, I think that the
This is
entire
what
school
bothers
board,
me.
I think the entire school board, just like the Board of Selectmen, have to vote on it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're not going to vote on it until we, send a little message over there, they're currently meeting, that says, we're funding Phase 2.
Right.
Okay?
So, I guess, and this is not a question to you or at you, but, I mean, if they were giving the amount to go up to, what is it, level 3?
Level 2.
Level 2. I mean, are they gonna say, okay, now we got that, so let's go for the override also, because they're putting an override on? I mean, this is it.
It's not up to them, though. I mean, with all due
Well,
respect, I mean,
yeah,
I think what
yeah, I know it's
what
up to
the
us, but
chairman,
of
the
course
chairman did is the right thing. He touched base with them to see what they feel.
If I may,
I'm
please,
sorry.
please.
Sure.
No, that's okay. I know it's up to us, but we're not going to say no to them. I know I wouldn't.
No.
I mean, I would let them put it on. It's just, I don't know.
Joe, just let me clarify what transpired, okay?
Yeah,
I called the superintendent and talked to the chairman of the board too, and said, as a result of the funding
Yep.
that we have, it looks like, with the will of the board, that we could close the gap. And I didn't say it was closed, I said that
Right,
we'd be
right.
proposing it. And if in fact we got to Phase 2, which really is a big comeback from where we were,
Yep.
right? And that I've explained, sent a memo out that I wanted to look at the next 2 years and start to see what we can do to get the school to where it ought to be by 2011, right? By looking at the programs, the way we're doing things, look for some of the additional funding that, ideas that have been suggested, because a number of them are good ideas, but they can't be
Right.
implemented instantly.
Right,
And therefore,
right.
we can't take credit for that
Right.
revenue,
It's gonna
not
take
knowing
time
where they're
for the
going to
money.
go. So this was an opportunity to get, while the momentum is here, to start to close that gap. And we know that if we don't make some changes, we're going to be debating this every single year.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So you got Prop 2.5, and you've got a certain amount of growth and state aid, and, clearly we ought to be trying to get more, right?
Right.
But it's still not enough to close this gap.
No.
And the way we're
Yeah,
going
I
to close the
understand.
gap is we've got to make changes in the way we're doing things, period. I don't know what those changes are.
Yep.
I do know that, for example, the sewer, which is, aimed at generating revenue. One is we got to get past the point to get it approved, but two is that 3, 4, 5, 6 years out, we can start to maybe get it to a point where we can attract some business development in the town. So
Yep.
we're talking, something in the future.
Right, I know that. Oh, yeah, I understand
So,
that.
all I'm saying is that, if the board's wishes are to put an override question on it, I feel like you. I mean, if there's a
Yeah.
desire to put an override question on the ballot, I'm not going to stand in the way of it.
Right.
right?
Well,
Because I think that
To-
we have
to
a
answer your question,
responsibility.
I would be in favor of it, putting an override
I think
question
we
on.
have a responsibility to
Let them
to
decide.
provide, allow the community to make
I
decisions,
agree.
right?
I agree.